Boom. Hi, I'm Nicolas Cage.
And we're also here with you, Nick. It's Adam and Sam and Tim. I'm going to tell them your names.
Wow, that's never
fun.
happened.
And we're Flipper Flicks. But you can't understand who is who because...
Yeah. Well, we
who's
could be
to say?
soundboards.
Yeah, you guys are soundboards. Like,
I'm Sam.
I'm Tim.
I'm Tim.
see?
There you go.
Soundboards.
I also like how you let Nick introduce himself before us on our podcast. Like, that's pretty solid. Like,
It actually
Yeah.
is amazing.
I liked it. I thought it was good. Whatever. I guess you don't need us here. You and Nick can just chit chat through this one.
I just really had to. You guys set me up too well for that.
Yeah.
But this week on Flipper Flicks, we're ending the dog days of Cage because we're all the way at the end of September. And apparently we just kept riding and riding and riding.
I mean, for what it's worth, it's still hot in September, so I think we get a pass.
Yeah. Seasons are moving, and that's it. But we're ending.
That's about it.
We're ending with the fancy film of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because why the fuck not?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a good end cap.
Yeah.
And if
That
you,
makes sense.
yeah, right. Technically it's on Stars, but I'm like, I own it and Sam owns it in 4K because I bought it. I remember buying it unwatched. Like we just went in cold. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck it. $30.
That's what I did. Well, I bought
Nice.
it for $7 on Amazon.
Much better deal.
It was on sale.
These hard copies of movies are so overpriced. Paying extra money for a plastic case.
It's a luxury to have them now. Like it
I
used to be
know.
like the thing, and they were like $15, and now they're expensive because it's like everybody streams everything. So
I know. I really do prefer to watch it from the Blu-ray.
You like to hear the noise open like
Well,
Yeah.
that and technically speaking, if you really want to get to the pixels, the 4K disc is gonna be better than the 4K stream always.
also the bonus features. Like
Oh, the bonus
why
features.
no bonus features on streaming platforms?
We're gonna have
What
to
the
talk
hell?
about those in a bit. But let me get to the synopsis. Movie star Nic Cage is channeling his iconic characters as he's caught between a superfan and a CIA agent. I mean, that's a synopsis.
that's something.
Also,
I didn't even read it.
agents.
Nope, just agent. There are definitely two.
That was like there's more than one agent.
And technically 4 if you count the two people up in the front seat.
What the hell? That's just not even correct at this point.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, yeah, I'm really excited. I love this movie. So I know Tim was waiting to watch it for the pod. I don't think
Yeah.
we got that memo, and we just watched it immediately. And I've watched it 2 or 3 times.
I mean,
so.
it's from 2022, so
Yeah.
That was last
it's
year.
a year old.
A
Yeah.
whole year.
So like me missing a movie for a year that I've wanted to see, yeah, is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, like I was surprised you didn't watch Old
Like
Henry.
especially no one out there. Do what?
You didn't watch like Old Henry. It took you a while. You had like held
Yeah.
off on it because you're like, oh, I'll save this for the pod.
I do kind of feel like those movies get lost in the abyss, though.
They do.
Sometimes, at least they do for me.
You just forget about
Yeah.
them, and then it's like, oh, I could have picked that movie for this.
Exactly.
We have an entire, for those who don't know, we have an entire potential flicks channel that we just throw like, oh, I want to watch this with everybody.
Also, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure we started that like at the beginning.
We did.
Like some of those movies are since like 3 years ago.
Maybe in a few seasons
Yeah.
we'll just we'll just do a season where we all go through and just pick a few episodes, pick a few movies and make episodes on that.
There you go.
Hmm.
Similar to the Dog Days of Cage
Yeah.
Yeah.
special season.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this.
Where you want to
Yeah.
start?
I'm going to start, Nick here. Nick did a beautiful song for his daughter in this film
Yeah.
that he doesn't have. Like, he doesn't have a daughter in real
Ugh.
life. He has 2 sons and apparently a 3rd child on the way. I don't know. That was written in 2022. But Tim, one of his sons is named whatever the fuck Superman's real name is.
Kal-El?
Yeah, that name.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
didn't
actually
know
named
that.
his son that?
Yeah, he's like 9 now or 10.
Interesting.
I know. The other one's name is like Andrew or something.
Yeah, but he probably has some nice alliteration. Kal-El Cage.
Well, it's probably. I wonder if he legally changed it or if it's still Coppola.
Okay, either way.
I highly doubt he legally changed it.
Yeah, I
Either
mean, like
way.
Olivia Cockburn changed her name to Olivia Wilde.
It's
Yeah.
still CC.
That is true. No, well, not really, because his first name starts with a K.
Okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Anyways, so Nick, Nick, are you a singer?
Sometimes I sing. I used to go in karaoke, and that's fun. I find it relaxing. But I wouldn't say I'm a professional singer by any stretch of the imagination.
I thought it was pretty good.
Relaxing. I would be a nervous wreck.
It depends.
That's why I've never done it.
You never karaoke'd?
Hell no.
I've done it once.
I
Ain't
have
no
also
way I get
never
up on
done
a
it.
stage and sing a song in front of people.
I just figured you probably got drunk enough at some point and did it. I don't know why. I was
No
like,
matter how drunk I ever got, never
that
happened.
checks out. Yeah. Well, now we all need to go and get like the little private boxes.
At Tokyo
and do
Kitty.
it.
God.
Yeah. Then you only had to get up in front of your friends, which is much
Yeah, that
better.
would
That's
probably
when
be
you
okay.
did it.
It is. And I did shots.
Yeah.
By LMFAO. I nailed it.
Good pick.
Fucking nailed
I have
it.
no idea what song I even pick. I just don't know. No.
I'm sailing away by
Yeah.
the Sticks. I'm sailing
How about the
away.
movie or the song from Team America World Police? You guys can sing
America.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But this movie, you know,
Addie. You could sing that one. It's like 5 seconds
Addie.
long.
I remember when we drove across the desert to the
99
Grand
Red Balloons.
Canyon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In
But
German.
Yeah.
but Nick, what would you say a genre you'd like to break into? Like, I mean, you're a singer. You think you could do a musical?
Well, I have never done a musical. I guess in some ways there was singing. I was singing in Wild at Heart, but I'd like to try something like that. Yeah.
Look, people are
okay.
jazzed about it.
Yeah, all of our listeners that are totally in our room right now,
They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're on.
Nick Cage.
singing.
Wait, can we go back to the relaxing thing though? Because I really do truly feel like that's wild to me. Unless he's just talking about like he just sings to himself and that's relaxing.
No. He always talks about how adrenaline rushes relax him.
What?
Yeah, like when he picked up the snake in Joe,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
he said that relaxed him. Like he drinks coffee
see
to
that.
relax.
Weird.
Speaking of Joe, dude.
It makes sense to me.
So Tim, in the
In a way,
in the
I can
very-
get there.
very beginning, Nick is over here pouring his heart out to this director about getting a role in his movie as David Gordon Green, the director of Joe.
Huh.
Nice little
No,
factoid.
no.
So he
there.
got the job as Joe then. That's what he was doing.
Without
Yeah, just
the
like 10 years
accent.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went, instead of Boston, he went to the Pacific Northwest, which is
Yeah.
slightly different.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're concerned about me doing a Boston accent, I can do a Boston accent.
That was pretty good.
I love that later on in the movie too. He just like whips it. He whips it out.
Yeah,
to
he
use
When
that
he's
guy.
Pulls the whole
Sergio or
white out.
Sergio,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Uh.
nice callback.
Also, the way that he pronounces medulla oblongata gets me
Oh,
every
it's
time.
so
Dude,
weird,
it's
yeah.
so perfect though.
It's just weird.
It reminds me of his like the way that he acted in Matchstick Men, where he like goes up an octave sometimes and
Yeah,
then comes back down.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, this movie was rolling. Neil Patrick Harris's random character is always fun.
yeah. Are you
Just-
guys gonna get the seaweed massage that they did, where they
No.
just get smacked with seaweed
Hell
or
yeah, I'd do
something?
that.
I would
Right.
not.
I want to try it.
It does not look fun.
I mean,
Why not?
I feel like
Fuck
it's
it.
great.
Nah.
I'd do it.
I don't like the hot stone massage either.
Yeah.
Oh, those are great.
I hurt. I'm tender.
Tend can't take any seaweed.
I cannot be beat by the seaweed.
I think there's also like I forget where it is. Maybe it's Japan where you can get massaged with a sword. And it's like
What?
yeah, it's like a dull sword, but still they like yeah,
Well, yeah.
they like hit you with a sword. Which is weird
Fuck
to
it,
me
why
too.
not?
Right? Like it's kind of like a back scratch and a massage in one.
yeah.
Which probably the seaweed might be that way too, honestly.
It could be. I mean, there's all sorts of things that are kind of in that fashion. There's like these plastic things that Rihanna has that you like dig in your skin, and that's what it does. It's like the same thing. It like I don't know what they're called, but it helps with circulation and stuff.
Hashtag concerned.
Is it like the cup therapy?
Oh my
Where
god.
they like They
I
put
think
a
that's the
cup on
same.
you, and
Sim-
Have you
it's all, like,
seen
the similar
that?
stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's frightening. Like
Yeah.
you come back bruised.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you were
I mean,
telling me about that, I'm like, that seems similar for sure.
Yeah, it's you just literally take this thing and you just dig it into the muscle and you just like scrape. It's like
Oh.
this. There's like different kinds you can get. Yeah, it sucks, but it feels really good too.
Worth it.
Yeah,
See, you gotta get the pain to get the gain.
yeah.
No.
Says the person who asks for the what is
I
it
go
when they
medium.
ask you what
I go
pressure
medium.
you want. I cannot go medium because I feel like they're just like snapping me in half. I always have to go like soft.
I need you to be as soft as possible.
Yeah.
See, your muscles are tender.
And even then, it's too hard usually. Anyway,
But this movie,
off topic.
Javi is amazing.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love Pedro Pascal, but
Mhm.
Javi, his role as Javi is fucking great.
It's great. Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like his character's supposed to be a big fucking fan
Yes.
and whatnot, but Pedro Pascal really is.
Which is funny.
Yeah, which makes it like is even better for the movie.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense
Yeah.
for like the
He
like meta wise. It just
Yeah.
it just works too well.
right, and like it's something that I would never have caught, but apparently the Ray-Bans that Javi's wearing when they first meet, and like he's on the speedboat, were the same glasses that Nick Cage wears in Wild at Heart.
Oh.
I've
Okay.
never seen Wild at
Yeah, I
Heart.
don't even know what that is, but he said
No,
he sings.
yeah.
So I'm like, is
I
it
swear, for
another-
some weird reason, I thought Jeff Bridges was in that one.
That's crazy
Really?
heart.
Oh, that's
Oh, no.
Crazy Heart. My bad.
Oh.
Which Crazy Heart is like a Western country twang movie. I don't
Right.
know. Wild at Heart sounds the same way though,
Oh
to be
God.
fair.
Oh God. I just looked up Wild Heart and the trailer starts with Willem Dafoe
Oh.
and it's just like this creepy like smile on his face.
Oh no. How did we
Smile
miss
on
this
your
one?
face.
90. And I've never heard of this. Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. Willem Dafoe's face.
Well, Sam's really the
Anyway.
only one who tapped into the archives of Nick Cage's.
This is true. I chose
Films.
the wrong one. Well, and we also missed. So it was funny watching this movie because they make so many
References.
Nick Cage references, and I was like, well, we missed Con Air, we missed Wild at Heart, and I think there were a few others that we missed, and I was like, oops.
There were too many.
okay.
This
Well,
was his 104th
Yeah,
film.
I mean he has like all of them.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to do the Cage
Chainsaw for
catalog,
Mandy?
it would take years.
I
It would
know.
take a
I
long
was
time.
so excited when they had the chainsaw from Mandy, but they also had the weapon he forged.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
axe was on the table too.
Yeah.
I really loved that scene. I just thought it was so good to see the memorabilia, and then he's like so
Yeah.
off put by like the
He-
sequin
the
pillow.
Dude,
wax.
he
Oh, and then the wax statue too.
Yeah.
the pillow
Is that supposed to
though.
be me? Yeah,
So
the pillow is fantastic.
He after the movie wrapped, he went and bought every member of the cast and crew the same pillow and signed it.
Nice.
Oh.
That's awesome.
He was deeply disturbed.
Well, there was other stuff in there too, like the Raising Arizona diapers were in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just love how Pedro Pascal's like, Mandy's a masterpiece. Like some of the
Yeah.
delivery that he does is so good in this movie. Like also when there's trading shoes and he's like, oh wow, those look
yeah.
incredible.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
They were
I
like
just giggle too
tailor made to
much.
be best friends.
Yeah, like it just
Yeah.
feels like a buddy, like a perfect little buddy movie in certain parts of it.
Yeah, and Nick, you were saying, I think I heard that you were saying that you and Pedro, even off screen, were talking about like being in a film and whatnot, right?
I genuinely enjoyed my conversations with Pedro, and so many of our interests are cinema related. And we would talk about, I was interested in J horror, he was interested in some of the Spanish horror, and we give each other recommendations. So a lot of what you see in the movie was actually happening when we weren't on set or acting. It was actually the genuine conversation. I thought that was interesting. So it was sort of like no acting, please, you know.
That's crazy.
All right.
Well, and it makes it even better then to think about some of their like movie conversations, like when they're talking about how Paddington 2 is a masterpiece, which Tim
Yeah.
doesn't agree with. But
No.
What's really funny is Nick Cage did get asked about that
oh, really?
off screen, and he said it's actually quite a wonderful movie.
Oh.
Nice.
Tim, remember, you are in the minority on that.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
But
But
I
yeah.
mean, hey, it is what it is. I was going to say, it's also funny, too, that they talk about horror so much because one of the lines reminded me of his bit of I Like Little Mist in the Morning because he was talking about his daughter and he's like, she
Dude.
doesn't even read
Yeah.
Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
Sam and I were like super excited because like I don't know. I feel like watching this film the first time back last year, I really liked it. Like I thought it was a great film.
Mm.
I think after we've watched all of this stuff, and like you have to also understand, I've watched a lot of interviews of Nic Cage in the
That's
last
true, yeah.
last few weeks, few months.
Had to study up to have him
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really I think I've grown to like him a lot more as an actor, as a thespian.
His thespian abilities.
Well, it's kind of like we got to know him a little bit more too, right? A
Right.
little bit deeper into like who he is as a person, and it's like, okay, well, I actually do like this guy. I thought I liked him before, but now I do know that I like him.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know what J horror is.
Japanese.
I don't
horror.
think-
Oh,
okay,
okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes.
then.
I should have known that. Yeah.
I was
It's all
like, why
good.
wouldn't you just call it Japanese horror, though?
I only knew that because he's really close with the dude from Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Yeah.
I went ahead and assumed that, and I double checked
Yeah.
because he talks about that he apparently recommended the movie Cure, and at one point, I didn't catch this before, but apparently Nic Cage used Ringo as a reference for playing Renfield. I mean Dracula in Renfield. Ringo is the original The Ring from Japan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Interesting.
But there are so many little callbacks. Like Sam was talking about like the statue, or Tim, you were.
Yeah, Tim.
Mm.
First off, I'm gonna be honest, I hadn't seen Face Off before this. I assumed that statue was Lord of War because in the trailers I've seen him in a suit often, and it's all about weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed like custom made weapons would have been from Lord of War, not Face Off.
Yeah.
And I got a lot more happy and excited to see that it was.
Face off.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
get the reference. It makes
Now
more
I get it.
enjoyable. One of the other top tier scenes besides the like Nic Cage sanctuary was like when they are going cliff jumping and Pedro like goes on like a whole monologue and then they jump off and Tim's like, or not Tim.
Tim, what'd you do?
Nick was like, oh my God, it's so high. We could have died.
Yes,
Like,
we could have died.
I don't know. That was just like there's so many like really good scenes that I feel like I've already talked about a lot of the ones that I like so far, but like there's some top tier shit in here.
Yeah, she hasn't even talked about the acid scene.
Which is another classic
Oh,
that
so
got
good.
memed.
Yeah.
That's like straight from Fear and Loathing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just the meme that came right out of that movie.
The scene when they're like sitting down talking about the movie, and Nick is just like, "You see that couple? Like, those two guys over there? Like, what? If, like, they've been watching us this whole time. Which,
Yeah.
have they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna look. Don't make it obvious. I'll
That
laugh.
was a great-
I don't know.
That
That's
was,
Sam
yeah. I felt that.
in a restaurant. Like, hey Sam, dude, that person's being weird over there. Look, I can't look at him.
Make it too obvious. But then the other part when they're on drugs and they're like at the wall and he just walks around and he's like, how'd you get here? I just went around.
I just went around. Yeah.
So dramatic. Like
Yeah,
any of
you
those
could walk
big
around.
monologue scenes were hilarious to me.
I did love how he was talking about how he wants to make a film for grown-ups, a character-driven film
Yeah.
for grown-ups.
Yeah.
And then we'll add the spy thriller shit just to sell it,
I
marketing.
mean, you knew they were talking about the movie
Yeah.
the entire like every
Yeah.
time. Like you knew exactly what it was.
It was so great though. Like, I don't know. I just love jokes like that.
It's fantastic.
That and then when the CIA agent, when Nic Cage first lands, and they're talking about Croods 2, and he's like, I'm a 44-year-old man. Why the fuck would I have seen Croods 2? Like, I don't know.
That's
just
him.
like the delivery of it all just has me rolling. Like, and we're not even that far into the movie at that point.
Yep.
Another side character shining.
Right? That guy does pretty good.
Yeah, I like him.
He always plays like a side.
Mm.
One of the things that I missed, Tim, because I've never seen The Wicker Man,
Hmm.
Did you catch it at the very end?
Mm-mm.
He was talking about his belt, and his dresser wanted to put bees on him, and he said, "Not the bees."
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that went
apparently
right over my head.
yeah, yeah. Nick was saying he's like, yeah, man, like I gotta make sure I get the Wicker Man in a movie this ridiculous.
Huh.
You
That's a
like
good
that
movie,
film,
too.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe that didn't even register until you said that.
There's so many movies, just like
There's
I
a
mean,
ton, but yeah.
yeah, the rock balls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those were great.
Oh shit.
But Nick, how would you say, like, did you enjoy playing yourself, or like, wait, Tim, did you have something on this?
Yeah, so I was very confused by Nikki. Like, I was trying to figure out if he was a character from his catalog that we had just not seen, because, like I said, we missed some of those films, or like who is Nikki? You know what I mean?
I love the Nicky character. I named him Nicky. Originally, it was just young Nick Cage, and I looked at an old interview I did in England on the Wogan show, where I was literally front handspringing. I was promoting Wild at Heart, front handspringing, doing karate kicks, throwing money out at the audience. I go, well, that guy is a really obnoxious, arrogant, irreverent madman, and I think he needs to be in this movie. So that was the inspiration for young Nick. They were talking a little bit about like Cameron Poe from Con Air. I said, but that's cool, but that's not Nick. That's Con Air. That's Cameron Poe. That was Nick. That was Nick in 1990, and I'm so glad I'm nothing like that person anymore. But I was happy to bring him back.
Well, yeah, I was too.
You gotta
was
bring
awesome.
it
He
back.
was so great.
That was awesome. I'm glad he was based on his former self.
I
Right?
know. Well, I mean, like my parents, I know Sam's dad specifically has talked about how like crazy Nick Cage used to be. Not like crazy,
true.
like
Right, but like
psycho, but like
out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
he'd just be buying islands or something. I remember that in high school, being like, Nick Cage, the actor.
Right.
Nick Cage has lived many lives. Okay, now he's like in his old man vibe, but
He
like
is,
not
and-
quite there yet. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't resigned himself to playing grandpas yet. He's still trying to do the action shit.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
he's not going like full action like Tom Cruise, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not.
So I have a quote that I really love.
do it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's the drugs talking, but what if we have a really big drug scene?
So good.
Yes. Yep, that was one of my favorites.
It was a fantastic line.
And then one of my other favorite scenes was like when he first latches on to like do the mission or whatever, and he has to like peel the like agent off his hand, and then he like strokes his forehead,
Strokes
and he's
his
like,
head, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I touched my
Oh, that was
forehead.
good. I think I
You
took
either
over.
did or you didn't.
Yeah.
I think I did.
I think I did.
Great. We killed fucking Nick Cage.
Yeah, and then like watching him just like stumble through it all.
He's just like, where's the key? It's in the locked room with the other.
Oh, I let the door close. Fucking
That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just so much. I really
Yeah.
liked the villain though. Like, just the.
Sergio?
No, that's not the villain.
Who's the villain?
Lucas, the
Who's-
cousin.
Yeah, I
Sergio
thought
is.
his name was Sergio.
No, no, no,
Oh,
Sergio
Sergio
is
is how
Nick.
who he dresses up as,
Yeah.
which is also funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I liked Lucas. Like, I don't know. He's just walking around in like a Hawaiian shirt and shorts, and he's
Mhm.
like the head of a like a mob.
He's
Yeah.
also like very unhinged. Like the actor does a very good job of like
Dude,
playing
right?
Right.
like someone that you're like, holy shit, will you take a chill pill, please?
What about that Fruit Loop scene? I really like Fruit Loops.
It seems so weird. I don't know. I love Fruit Loops, but I didn't even think they were a thing anymore.
No, they definitely are.
Adam's like, I had him last week. I'm
I
just kidding.
did. No, I had that Fruit Loop cereal bar.
Oh shit,
I mean,
you
actually,
did.
okay, that makes sense because yeah, they have the cereal bars, and then like whenever you go to like a hotel, that seems to be one of the staple cereals is Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
always in that like plastic thing you push, and it just dumps like a 4 bowls worth into your bowl.
I'm pretty sure European Fruit Loops are not as colorful as ours,
Lame.
and they're
Yeah,
closer
what
to
the hell?
Cheerios colors,
Mm.
and then they are less flavorful
Well, it's different.
because they have better laws about sugar.
Oh, well, there you go. And probably artificial dyes. But the Cheerios are so tiny compared to Fruit Loops. Like,
Yeah.
Fruit Loops are big and beefy. I just need to get that out there. I can't remember the last time I had Fruit Loops for what it's worth, but
Yeah, I have no idea.
I got some chocolate strawberry Cheerios right now, and that shit is delicious.
Ooh, yeah, those are good.
I recently had Fruit Loops because Sam was trying to buy a Fruit Loops candle. It smelled really good, but it was like
You have one?
$20. It was
You
like
have one?
$20 for like the smallest little thing.
I'm so jealous. You'll have to tell me where you got yours because ours
Whorehouse.
was like where?
I'll have
Whorehouse.
to look it up and
He
send
went
it.
to a whorehouse.
That's what I thought
Yeah.
you said.
The horror. What's it called? What's that horror?
Horror?
event that we did?
Horror?
Horror Hound, I think it's called.
Horror Hound.
It's like an expo of like horror stuff.
But there's Fruit Loop candles?
And there was a vendor there that had all sorts of like candles and incense, I think.
Nice.
I'll have to get it. We have it at home. I'll have to get it and say, oh, Fruity Pebbles, I think is one of them too.
Nice. Love Fruity
But
Pebbles.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, they're cool.
The lesser of the fruities.
No.
And they do like the small pieces that you put in the thing that heats up. They do those too.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just couldn't bring ourselves to pay like $20 for this little mini candle, and we just kept
Oh, it definitely
smelling
wasn't
it,
that much.
and
Yeah.
we were like, "Oh, man, we really need this." And then I guess it got the craving. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But I think
Fuck
that's what it's called. Horror Hound.
Whorehouse.
I was gonna say you're not helping yourself, Tim. It sounds
I didn't
like
think I
horror.
was.
I was like, the word horror, if you don't like enunciate heavily on the roar, like the second half, it just
Horror.
horror. Horror.
Either way, it doesn't make sense for a Fruit Loop candle. So
But
No.
for this
Yeah,
movie,
it's literally called Horror Hound. Yeah, that's right.
nice.
sweet.
So for this film that we're talking about here, there were deleted scenes on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
The first one was Nick goes to Javi and is like, "What's the password for the internet?" And he's like, "National." He spells out National Treasure 2. That's the Wi-Fi name, and then Book of Secrets is the password. He's like, "I'll change it. I'll change it." No, it's fine. I just thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a,
That's awesome.
a nice little exchange about fandom, which I can get. Like, they have a lot of that in there, so they're probably like, whatever,
Well-
but I wish they would have kept it.
I think they didn't keep it because it let on his fandom too early.
True.
Because he hadn't even talked to, in the scene, he hadn't talked to Gabriella about how fantastic Nick Cage was. So
There you go.
the other deleted scene was insane.
Yeah.
They do a, what is the movie he always talks about? The old one?
Mr. Caligari's, what is
Oh,
the,
Castle of Caligari.
Castle of Caligari, yeah. Calamari.
something like that.
Yeah, so they do a play off of that, but he lands in Face Off fighting Nikki.
Yeah.
Like as John Travolta and Nick Cage in Face Off. One of them's, they're just shooting at each other, and then they end up in Gone in 60 Seconds
Mm-hmm.
and another film, but it's just wild.
Yeah, and it's all like black and white, and they have weird makeup on, and I guess that's the Caligari
Stuff.
thing, because we were like, why the fuck does it look like this?
We
Like-
thought it was just like, oh, it's just not done in post yet.
yeah.
But they do the mirror room scene from Face Off.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then another little thing when he goes to do the scene at the beginning, when they're at the pool and he just like goes in and just drops down into the pool.
Mm-hmm.
That is a literal scene for scene of Leaving Las Vegas that Nick Cage won an Academy Award for.
One of the ones we missed.
I know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. There's a whole thing about how he was the director was like, oh, I'm going to tell you how to do it. He's like, I've done this before. Don't worry.
And then I guess Pedro Pascal, who's supposed to be playing the girl, was like, don't worry, I got it too. Because he'd seen it enough or something. Which just makes me laugh.
Yeah. Apparently, Nick Cage called him the strangest man he's ever met. And he's like, I mean that as a true compliment. And I'm like, I actually believe you.
I would believe that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't get the vibe that Pedro Pascal was strange. Like, I feel like Nick Cage is
Oh,
way
no.
stranger.
Well, I think
Yeah,
both of them are strange men.
Yeah.
they're definitely goofy, yeah. Seeing
I've-
like interviews with Pedro and stuff, you can see it. He's a
Especially
goofy
if
dude.
he's with Oscar Isaac.
But he's great.
They're
He,
like,
Hot Ones, that was fantastic.
yes, he was. I need Nick Cage on that.
Yeah.
I know. I want to see that.
Do
maybe
it,
maybe we'll
Nick.
push it in for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I missing anything? I feel like I missed notes. Did you got anything? Did you guys like Nick Cage playing Nick Cage playing Nick Cage?
I did.
Like there were 3 like levels there, like the
Yeah.
actor's playing the character Nick Cage who plays a character as
hmm
himself, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah. I did actually have one more note. So on the first watch through, I don't think I noticed how well the music was, but like on
Dude,
this
right?
watch through, I was like, oh wow, like they did a good job with the music. And then some of the cinematography as well, like when they're driving the car and the drug scene, like it pulls out. And then when they're walking towards each other and they've both found each other out, they're like, hey, like that pull out. Like there were
Yeah.
some good shots in here, and I was like, I don't know. I benefited from extra rewatch in that sense. I don't know, Tim, what you thought of the music or if you noticed it.
Yeah. Talking about it, I honestly don't remember it.
That was
That
the
was
first
us the
watch,
fir-
yeah?
me too.
Yeah. I honestly think I have to watch this again because I've been sitting here this whole time trying to figure out where to put it on my list.
Oh man.
I am struggling.
Oh,
It's
and I
hard?
think I have to watch it again.
Oh, okay. So it's not last.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
Not last, but it started out low. And not because it's not good, but anyway, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So do we have any other notes?
Well, shit. I don't.
Getting into it now.
The
after
critics
Adam.
I guess
gave it an 87%, audience with an 87%,
Wow.
IMDb with a 7 out of 10, and Google with a 65%. I gotta say, the Google reviews for Nick Cage
Google,
films
I-
are very
yeah.
low.
Somebody's paying them off.
Hate us.
But I will go with my final rankings.
That was my drum
Mhm.
roll.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Well, I would flip this on. Let's start there.
Wow, I'm shocked.
I know. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is number 1, and just shift everything down 1. So that means
Yep.
Mandy is 2, Renfield at 3, Face Off at 4, Matchstick Men, Joe, Gone in 60 Seconds, Raising Arizona, next The Old Way, and Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, Tim, you're up to bat. Where are you putting it?
I struggled to put it
time.
on here. It started out as 7th on my list.
Wow.
Oh,
And-
wow.
But
Okay.
going back and remembering it, and I think I feel like if I watch it again, I'll appreciate it more. And then, but then I started to think about rewatchability and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, would I watch this again? And I would for sure. So it's definitely a flip on for me because it was a great film, but I kept getting distracted from it. So I think that's what
Okay.
is why I need to watch it again and why it started out so low. Because the more we talked about it, the higher it went on my list. So it ended up in 3rd.
Oh, wow. 7th to
Gone in
3rd.
60 yep. And Gone in 60 Seconds reigns supreme.
Nice.
Then Mandy, then Unbearable Weight, Matchstick Men, Face Off, next Renfield, Raising Arizona, Joe, Old Way, and Ghostland.
Wow.
Yeah, what's crazy is I definitely expected your Renfield to be up higher.
It's all the ending when it came to Renfield. I
That's fair.
thoroughly enjoyed Renfield, and I thought the ending ruined it. But
Mm.
I still love the movie, and I have the urge to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7th doesn't mean it's a bad film. Because Gone in 60 Seconds is 7 for me.
Yeah.
And I liked that film. I just liked
I
other
mean,
films more.
realistically, if I go from 7 up,
You'll watch any of those?
actually, if I go from 8 up,
Actually, if I go
no,
9
if I go
up,
from 9 up, if I go from Joe, oh wait, yeah, because my last 2, it's just the Old Way and Ghostlands that I wouldn't watch again.
There you go.
yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. And Sam.
Well, I like a little meta in the morning, and so I really enjoyed this film. I do think it benefits from a rewatch, but I can see what you think, Tim, because even on this watch, like I was like, oh man, it's kind of slow. It drags at certain points. It just does.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there's like just different storyline, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it again. So it's definitely a flip on for me, and it also gets the number 1 spot, which was difficult for me to do because I was like, because like realistically, I feel like my top 3 are pretty neck and neck. So like Massive Talent, Gone in 60 Seconds, Matchstick Men, like those are all top tier to me, and so like
Mhm.
I would switch them out pretty regularly. And it just comes down to the fact that I think like I'd rather reach for like a comedy meta movie than I would like an action. But like everything else is still the same for me. So like Face Off, Renfield, Raising Arizona, Next, Joe, Old Way, Mandy, and Ghostland. And I feel horrible that Mandy is so far down, but like for me personally, I
It's not your style.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch
This
it
is not
unless
your
I force
film.
you to.
Yeah, but like it's an excellent film. So I kind of agree with you guys. Like except for Ghostland, I would probably like I wouldn't tell somebody, "No, don't watch it."
Yeah, I don't know. And I also thought in this one, I expected it. I didn't know anything about it besides like the meme, essentially.
Yeah.
And that Cage was playing
Classic.
a spoof version of himself. I didn't expect the plot to be what it was.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I kind of felt like that was part of it, the like letdown almost. But like at the same time, it wasn't. I don't know. That's weird to explain, but.
It kind of competes with itself. Like if it was just a straight comedy buddy movie, like
Character-driven adult film.
yeah, exactly. Like I think we'd be good, but then that hook in there for the other people kind of like makes it all weird.
Yeah.
So I think it's part of like I expected Pedro to be Pedro, not Javi. I think that's part of it. I was like, oh man, I thought it was just gonna be them two goofing off, like just doing stupid shit in Hollywood or something. I don't know, or like traveling around and just getting in trouble.
Which is part of it. But
it is part of it, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I actually have I just did some computations.
Ooh.
I have the Flipper Flicks rankings, final rankings of the films.
Dun, dun, dun.
In first place is Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Well, yeah.
Apparently, Sam and I putting at 1 does weigh it heavily.
Yeah.
Gone in 60 Seconds at 2. Matchstick Men, Face Off, Mandy. Sam brought Mandy down on us.
Sorry.
Renfield, right in the middle.
Which is honestly, like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Raising Arizona and Next are tied for 7th. Joe at 9, The Old Way at 10, and Prisoners of the Ghostland wrapping us up at 11.
So we all agree on the worst. It's the best that we have different flavors.
We
of,
also
it
all
feels
agree
like.
that Matchstick Men was 4, but it's still the second. It's the third highest. We also agreed that we didn't agree that on this. Never mind. Disregard. Renfield is coming up as an even 5, but that's not accurate.
Yeah, I was just laughing because I was like, when we first started out, like we all kind of kept Renfield, and I was curious if it would end up higher, but kind of makes sense that it's
3,
the
5,
middle
and
of the
7.
pack.
Yeah. So we did it. We
We
did the Dog Days of
did it.
Cage.
We got it
Woo!
done.
We only watched 10% of his catalog or something.
Yeah. Not even.
I know.
Or maybe about
A
yeah,
blip.
about 10%.
A blip of his career. He hasn't done a musical yet. If he does that, we might have to bring back Dog Days of Cage.
I think we'd have to watch that.
Dude, right? All right. And that's it.
Well, thanks, Nick, for joining us this season. We really enjoyed having you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Take care. Have a great day. Nick fucking Whoa, Cage!
If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FlipperFlix. I guess we don't have to say it anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm old. Follow along, see what we're doing. Interact if you'd like to.
Yeah, hit us up there. I don't know. You can also give us recommendations on other of those sites, or you can go to our website at www.flipperflix.com. Yeah, we do a couple recommendations each season, so we just love we're trying to pander right now. We're trying to get you to come to our website, give us some clicks, and recommend us a movie because, we're going to have to pick those eventually, and more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
You can also, speaking of pandering, you can also rate and review us on Apple, Spotify now. Oh, we also do polls there occasionally. So that's always fun.
Answer Adam's questions.
Answer all of my questions, God damn it.
And if you're wondering, when can I catch these fools? You can catch us at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. We're on Spotify, as Adam mentions, where he does his polls. We're on Apple, Google, Amazon. believe you can subscribe on the various platforms, and that way you'll get like a push notification, or it'll come right into your queue. So that way you don't ever have to look at the clock on Thursday. It'll just be there for you.
Can you later? Bye later.